Senator, thank you for coming to Conway, New Hampshire today. One of the issues you touched on is the big...
Tell me your name.
Oh, my name is Ken.
Hi, Ken.
You touched on money in politics and how that is causing such a problem, campaign finance. Harvard professor Larry Lessig has written a couple books. I think he calls it institutional corruption, and how it's the funders that are getting all the attention, not the voters.
Yes.
And one of the solutions that a majority of American people have been wanting for a very long time would be, and I support that we have term limits on the president, so I'm very glad that we have that amendment. Do you support, or would you support term limits for Congress, and as a way of kind of keeping fresh ideas coming to Washington, new people, more participation?
So here's the problem. I get the argument. Actually, I love Larry, and we've had a lot of conversations. I think he's terrific. But here's the problem on term limits on folks in Congress. It makes them more dependent than ever on the lobbyists. Believe me, if the senators only stay for 2 terms, the lobbyists will be there a lot longer. And they'll know how the game is played. And they know how it's played big time. And that's the part that keeps me worried at the heart of this. In fact, it worries me that it will make them even more dependent on big money. You know, when I ran, I'll give you an example, of a little bit at least, about how I see how this works. When I ran for Senate in 2012, nobody knew who I was. Right? And I'm getting out and I'm trying to build a grassroots movement. But boy, you're looking everywhere for help. When I ran in 2018, I wasn't nearly as dependent because I knew people knew me in Massachusetts. And I'll tell you something. So the consultants came to me and they said to me, you should expect to spend in Massachusetts on your reelect, which was just now in 2018, you should expect to spend $12 million on radio and TV. Anybody want to guess how much I spent? It's an expensive market. Boston's an expensive market. Answer, 0. My decision was, wait a minute. First, I looked at the polls. I said, I'm likely to beat this guy. The difference between beating somebody by 20 points and 25 points, I'm not spending money on that. That's just a vanity project, right? So instead, I took the money and started building grassroots. We had more paid organizers. So young people who'd never done this before, got a chance to become organizers. And here's the deal. They not only worked on my campaign and helped me win, and they did, but they also are out there now to work on my campaign again or to work on other campaigns, to be part of rebuilding democracy. And here's another piece of that. If you make this all about just how much money can you scoop up and run TV ads, it doesn't help anybody else make it through. It doesn't help us get back. We can do this for the White House, but it doesn't help us get back the Senate. It doesn't help us expand our lead in the state houses. It doesn't help us get the governorships that we need across this country. And more to the point, it doesn't help us build the grassroots foundation that we need, not just to win these elections, but to make real change come January 2021. So I get the impulse, and I'm not cranky about the impulse. I get it. But for me, I think the better way to go about this is just to go at the money straight on. We don't need a constitutional amendment for any part of this. We just need to do 2 things. We need to make the small dollar contributions. We need to build that movement ourselves. And when we get a majority in the House and the Senate and we get the White House, come January 2021, we got to put this at the top of the agenda to beat back the influence of money in Washington. So that's where I come out on this.